everybody. I'm Tom Basil.
I'm Z Garcia.
I don't even want to tell you my name.
Oh no! So angry.
I'll just make
So angry on the inside.
So today's list is our top 10 games we wouldn't play with Sam.
What?
Oh, wait.
That's basically what I did, actually.
I thought it was top 10 games that make us angry.
Well, make us angry when playing with you, just make you angry.
Top 10 games that inspire rage.
When
Now, inspire, induce rage, I guess.
they inspire it as well.
Inspire, induce, yeah. Both.
So, with this list, I specifically did not put games that made me mad because they were so bad. Because that's a much longer list. Like, because that happens all the time. Or because the rule book was bad.
No,
that's
right.
No, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This game's so bad.
It's got to be good games.
Actually, most of the games on my list I actually enjoy playing.
I
Right.
actually enjoy
But
playing
sometimes they upset me.
all the games except for one on my list. Oh, two of the
Sometimes
games
they
on my
upset
list.
and frustrate me.
There are 2 games on my list that I'd rather not.
Every game on my list, I have seen an argument in, and seen someone get mad.
Yep.
Seriously?
Yes.
My list is gonna be soft. Milk toast.
Z never argues in games.
I don't.
But like, hey, you. He's like,
These are
okay,
games that mildly frustrate me.
that's a completely different list. That's our next top 10. What are you gonna do then?
No.
Games that mildly frustrate us.
Yeah, right.
I don't get angry in games, man. These are games that kind of upset me.
We didn't say that. Okay,
Well, other people. I don't play with those people. I avoid Sam.
let's get started before you see a rage-induced top 10.
Number 10.
All right, my number 10 is on the list, and it just squeaked on because more often than not, Colosseum is played in a rather mild way.
Colosseum?
Yes.
Wow.
But we change a rule because the rule actually states that each person is supposed to go in turn offering up and everybody can trade during the trading phase. Everybody can trade with only one person.
Right.
And then the next person gets to trade and everybody can trade with them and then the next person, so
Such a
forth and so
dumb
on.
rule.
It is a dumb rule. However, recently we've been playing with that rule, and I introduced that rule to a group of people at MeepleCon the other day.
And you punched a few of them.
No. I was fine with it, but yeah, most of them were not. And a lot of arguments, because what we do is, to change the rule is, we just have open trading.
Right.
And the entire table can trade with anybody at any point in time. You can make multiple deals with multiple people. And once everybody says, okay, I'm done trading, then we move on to the next phase.
Yes.
That's what we do. It didn't go over so well.
Oh, you played that way.
Yeah.
And people did not like that way.
No.
That's weird.
Well, no, I can see it because
No,
let's say
no,
Sam
no.
wants a line. I'm like, hey, Z, I'll give you a horse foot line. You're like, okay, boom, boom. Before he can even like put his offer in.
Yes.
Then he needs to speak up.
No, and that's exactly what I was telling. It's like, you cannot be, you know, as you were saying,
Meek,
milk
right.
toast. You
Yeah,
can't
don't
be
be
milk
meek
toast
about
right
it.
now.
Yeah,
You've
let's
got to
go.
be. And the reason I like that is because it gives you a better feel of being in a market where you're trying to get people and to listen to you and not listen to somebody
It
else.
also cuts 30 minutes from the time of the game.
It does.
That too.
But man, there was some serious. I think the group that I was playing with, they were great friends with each other.
They used to be.
I don't know anymore, because there was some like, man, I
Sammy,
can't believe you did that.
destroyer
I
of
can't believe you did
friendships.
this, and I can't believe you traded it.
You took
and,
my lion.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the first time. That's why it's my number 10, because that was the first time
Okay.
that I saw people literally getting angry with each other at the table. Now, it could have been just that, you know, there was great friendships, and that was just, you know, part of their friendship. You know, they're very comfortable with getting angry, but boy, they were angry. And so that's my number 10, Colosseum.
I wasn't expecting to see Colosseum on this.
I
list,
know,
I'll tell
right?
you.
My number 10, I suspect that Sam would put on his list, but then he said he likes almost all the games on his list, so I'm not sure. But I know I've seen Sam get mad in this game, and I've seen many people get mad, and that's Robo Rally. Okay? Robo Rally, you're like, you sit there, you're like, okay, do this, and you're so happy.
Program.
You place out your program,
I've got it
and
all.
it's perfect. And then some yahoo across the table goes, oh, I didn't mean to play that card. And that's what makes it worse, because if they were like, well, I had to go there, that'd be one thing. But if they're like, oh yeah, I meant to go the other way, then they hit
Push you
you.
and they push you out of the way. Your whole
Yes, definitely.
But he's not the only person. I once saw someone play this game. A very mild person who died like 3 turns in a row. You know, like boop, 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 pushed into a pit, boop, 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 pushed into a pit, and they were like,
and you can see them breaking down a little bit every single time. Oh well, okay. The second time's having, and then the third time, they just go nuts.
It didn't help that I was a much younger person at the time, and I took great joy in this situation. It's like, you died again, which sometimes is not the best maneuver.
That's not how you handle that.
Sometimes you just sit there and go, oh, I'm sorry, man.
You come back. You'll be all right.
Dude, that's so horrible.
Robo Rally.
All right, my number 10 is one that probably does not make a lot of other people angry, but it makes me angry. Or frustrates me.
Mildly frustrated.
Mildly.
Yes.
Most people, I'm not very good at word games. This is paperback.
What?
Paperback. You have a hand of cards and you are trying to make a word and you want to do it in a decent amount of time because I don't want to make the other people I'm playing with sit there for 5 minutes while I figure out how to build a word with these 3 letters and then one wild letter, which is almost worse because it can be any letter. So I sit there and I go through like every possible combination of letters and...
You're making me mad just listening to this. I don't want to play with him.
I was just thinking the exact same thing.
I find it, remember when I played Castles of my King Ludwig and it just like froze me up? I couldn't decide what to set the prices at. I feel like that when I play paperback. I just lock up.
Huh.
And I'm like, my word is high, H-I, high, that's it. And then someone will be over my shoulder going like, you could have made platypus. I'm like, I'm going to kill you right now. I can't. All those words and the wilds and the stuff. And
I don't feel bad about putting Coliseum on the list now.
Actually,
it frustrates me very much.
Scrabble was my number 11.
Yeah.
But for the purpose of me going, oh, good, I'm working hard to make cat. Next person's like, develop. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I always feel like...
Or QI. Oh, triple work score. Oh, yeah.
I always feel like I need to, hit the books hard after I play paperback, read up a little bit, man.
Increase our vocabulary.
Yeah, so it makes me frustrated.
What you probably feel playing paperback the way I feel playing...
Does it say 5 tribes?
5 tribes.
5 tribes, yes.
Yeah.
Which isn't on my list.
Yeah.
But it's very similar. Very similar. Especially...
Just don't see it,
Especially when people are saying, oh, yeah, there's one.
At least in paperback, no one's looking at my hand, right?
There's
Do you imagine that? In
exactly.
paperback, if my hand was open, they're like, oh, that's a good word. 6 letters on that one. I'd be like, shut up.
Exactly.
So, no, paperback is my number 10.
Number 9.
My number 9 could have stood in for a lot of speed games. I just picked one, and that's Holly Golly. We were just talking about this the other day.
We were just talking about this.
And I remember one time I played with a bunch of teenagers. They were in my board game club. I forgot the reason we were playing a game. This was years ago. And we were sitting there, and Holly Golly, you flip over cards. And I might have the rules slightly off, but if there's fruit
7,
cards,
right?
if 2 of the same fruit equals 7, you hit the bell. And so someone would flip over a card, and I would start seeing the card. Like, the light from the card is just hitting my eye bell, and the bell has already rung. I haven't even time to process.
Did you say your eye bell?
His eye bells.
No, but it's like time was freezing. I'm like, what? And before I'm even adding anything together, someone's like,
7. Bling, 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 bling. At least it wasn't like, you going in and someone's like,
that's what I hate about those kind of games.
Jungle speed, you go there and someone
gonna grab that thing and someone takes a finger off.
Like you gotta ask them, are you a cokehead? Because your fingernails look
that
like...
one nail is like,
Yeah, it's one game.
Like the bad guy from, what's that superhero movie? The bad guy who has the one long nail.
The Mandarin?
Mystery Man, thank you, from Mystery Man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, that's right, he's a super long nail. We're not playing Holly Guys.
Casanova Frankenstein, that's the one.
But really, you could put any fast game on this list.
You could put
because there's always going to be someone sitting there going,
you could almost put any game with a bell. I hate games with a bell.
If it has a bell, it's probably going to be.
It's funny, though, how a bell sounds fun, and then 5 minutes in, gets obnoxious.
Not fun at all.
Yeah.
Holly Golly, my number 9.
My number 9 is Deception Murder in Hong Kong, which I only find to be frustrating or rage-inducing when you're the one giving the clues and people are just not getting it. And in fact, you have
when you
to
play with
sit
people
there.
dumber than you is what you're
when
saying.
you have to
Yeah,
sit
pretty
there.
much. That's what he said.
No, I know Sam has experienced this actually, where you're sitting there, you think you're giving pretty solid clues. A couple of the people around the table are zeroing in on what the thing is, and you're going in your head, you're going, yeah, that's right, get it. And then one person over there goes, what about this over here, guys? And everybody suddenly goes, oh yeah, this one over here. And you go, no!
Yes.
In your head, because you
Yes.
can't talk.
Right.
And they completely derail something that we're clearly on track to hit.
Yep.
And you just cannot reel them back into that thing. They they acknowledged it for a little bit, and since they moved off of it, they never come back to it, you know?
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
You know, that being in that position where you cannot just say, you were on the right track before, you know?
Yes.
You just have to be quiet. That's very...
Don't listen to the idiot at the end of
This
the
one's
table.
trying
He
to
might
trick
be the
you.
murderer, too,
Yeah, they're
right?
trying to trick
Exactly.
you. Of course
Right,
they're trying
yeah.
to trick you, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes,
So-
though, it's not the murderer.
Sometimes it's just someone that happens to, be off, right.
And we were playing the other day in youth group, and my son was the witness, and he was like completely. My daughter was on this side, and she was going to accuse my wife, and my son was like, "It's not her. It's not. Don't do it." And I'm like, dude, you're like,
Subtle much?
you might as well just wear a sign that says, I'm a witness. And it will go, here's your hat, here's your cap, here's your sign, whatever. My goodness.
Anyway, that's my number 9, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
All right, my number 9 is Cash and Guns 2.0. And the only reason I say second edition is because it's not my phone this time.
Keep going.
But anyway, Cash and Guns is second edition only because that's the one that's available prolifically right now. But first of all, you're already pointing guns at people. That's already, you're kind of down the wrong path. It's foam guns. It's not real, of course. But pointing guns at people, you just need to put that away.
Sorry.
Put it away or
It's
I'll
like
take it
vibrating
away.
under the
Give me all
table.
your fidget spinners,
It's
kids.
really weird. But anyway, I've just seen this game so many times where people pick on one guy just because they know they're going to get a rise out of him. And so you have to go into this game with that idea that I'm not going to get angry, I'm not going to get mad, no matter what happens. It's just a game. You have to, and I do, whenever I'm running a game of this, I usually try to make that point. Remember, this is just a game. If you die, that's part of the game. You're out of the game. I've just seen it so many times where people have just gotten really angry because people are just picking on people for no reason. Sometimes it seems, and so it's not really a flaw of the game. It's more of a flaw with the gamers that are playing the game. So I've just seen so many people get angry over this game, and so I always preface the game with, "Remember, this is just a game."
Fake guns.
Yes, exactly.
Fake emotion.
I sure hope you're playing with fake guns.
Number 8.
All right, my number 8 is Rum and Bones Second Tide.
Ooh.
For simply the amount of dice chucking in it that betrays you at every possible turn every now and then. And the one thing that really is problematic...
This guy, he doesn't know about dice.
Dice are scary.
You never played 40K.
That game is scary.
It is.
There's like a handful of dice you roll in that too, right? I don't mess with dice like
They
that,
all
man.
roll ones, too.
No, in Rum and Bones, the one thing that is really... can sometimes just be like, I had every right to get that, is when you rig across from one ship to the other. And it's like, you don't even try to go for something extravagant, right? It's not like, well, I'm gonna rig from here and land right on. No, it's like 2 spaces across. Should be able to muster that. Roll a 1. Dive in the water. It's like, and that skips your turn with that character. That's, I should be able to get across. It's a hop. It's a hop across the ship, and then so every now and then the dice just get you. And then with general combat, of course, sometimes you can have the other player just wipe out one of the structures on your ship with some well-placed dice rolling, and you are hacking away at whatever you're trying to get, and it's just not happening. But that happens in a lot of games.
I think he had a bad game at Origins.
I think
I had a great game. Actually, the guy I was playing with had a horrible game. I felt bad for him. But, and again, the combat-driven, the dice with the that's fine. And I expect those swings of luck. It's mostly the rigging across thing that the penalty for not getting that roll is you fall in the water and your guy spends all round climbing back up when you're done. And it kept happening to the shark. And it's like, well, you should... Does he just want to go back home? What's going on? Is he just like missing the water? What's happening? So that was my number 8. I can see how it can upset people when you're just not getting it.
Or die. I believe the root of the problem is right there.
I give this round to the die.
Hey, wait, did you play yourself in that game? Did he have your character?
No, we didn't play with. No. I didn't have an expansion. What is it?
The upgrade pack?
The upgrade pack handy, so
missed opportunity.
It was second tide, though?
Yeah.
All right, what do you got?
Oh, it's my turn.
Your number 8.
My number 8. Now, again, I told you most of the games that are on my list are games that I actually enjoy, and this one is my number 1 game of all time, Blood Rage.
It's in the title.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of,
Has
right?
to be on there.
So, one of the most frustrating things, and it's happened more than once to me, is where I was like, it usually happens in the first age, too, because that's where rage is the tightest. And I've used all my rage, and I'm saving my last rage for so I can get all my quest cards out.
Oh, and then someone steals it from you.
And then somebody plays that card, Loki's Trickery, and steals your last rage. Now those quests... Yeah, exactly. That's what it feels like. It's like they're pointing at you. You know? Oh, my goodness. That is so infuriating. And I've done that to people. And I've had it done to me, and people have been so gracious. Because I had Loki, one of the last games I played, we were, I think I probably stole, I don't know, 3 or 4 rage from different people.
Wow.
In the course of the age. And it's like, now I know how they felt.
He's looking within.
Yeah,
Not liking what he sees.
Man, this is deep.
Yeah, and it's so infuriating, and they were so merciful when I did it to them. So I appreciate that. But yeah, this is a game where if you get the wrong cards played on you, or the other card where, discard all cards that were just played and play a new one.
Why do these people always sound so weird?
Oh my goodness. I've bluffed quest cards that I had locked in, and I lost them because of that. So it's, yeah, Blood Rage was definitely on the list. I know it's there now, so I'm able to, like, goose fraba before it actually begins. So I don't get angry that much anymore, but it's definitely there, and I see it. I see the flames in other people sometimes. Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you, Sam, for sharing.
You're welcome.
My number 8. My number 8 is a game I've seen anger occur in this multiple times. One time, the game did not end.
From hate?
From rage. And that's Cutthroat Caverns.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Cutthroat Caverns, you are all trying to go through dungeon together, but you apparently all hate each other.
Yeah.
So Z will be like, I'm going to stab the guy. But like, oh, I tripped you, buddy. Sorry.
You were going to kill it. Sorry, I got to be the one to kill it.
Monster comes hit me, and I'm like, Sam.
Yeah.
Why this party even works together is beyond me.
Exactly.
The game is super fun, but...
it must be like an all-star team or something like that. They don't usually work together. They're just kind of thrown together.
If you've watched our videos, you've heard tales of...
Water being thrown into faces. And is
this the game that happened in?
when I was making this list, I was actually burying the hatchet. This game is not on my list.
Yeah, but I'm going to keep it going.
Yeah, he's keeping it going this time. He opened up that wound.
So someone threw water at you. It was in this game?
Yeah. Yep.
I was not involved. Well, okay, I was the one who taught the
You've
game.
met him, too.
And I set it up. All right. Cutthroat Caverns, my number 8.
Number 7.
In my number 7, someone threw acid on someone's face once.
Batman, The Joker Returns.
And my number 7 is Citadels.
This is for
which, yes. Especially, this is, I think, considerably alleviated in the new printing of the game, because there's so many characters now. You can kind of make the game a little less mean, a little less anger-inducing if you play with a different set of characters. But in the original game, where you had both the assassin and the witch, was it?
Thief.
The thief.
Yeah, assassin and the thief.
That's right, the assassin and the thief, or rather, the thief and the assassin. I forget which one's first, but you could have several turns where if you were, and you would even attempt to avoid picking a character that you thought they were going to assassinate. You know, you could do the whole like, well, I clearly need the king or whatever because of the cards I have, but I'm not going to take the king because I know so-and-so took the assassin and they're going to assassinate the king. So I'll take some stupid character I don't need, I'll have a bad round, but I'll do something. And then they go, yeah, you're the warlord. It's like, what the? Yes, I am. I avoided the king on purpose.
Okay, you're making it sound like somebody out there is trying to get you.
Yes.
That's pretty much how it goes usually.
Not for me. If I'm going to assassinate something, I'm going to try to assassinate the whatever I think will do the most benefit for me.
It depends on the number of players. If there's enough players at the table, you can sort of like shoot into the dark and hope to hit someone.
Yeah.
And if you're the one who drafted hoping to avoid that, maybe the guy after you was the one who wanted that. You know what I mean? And they're hoping to hit them, but they hit you. You know what I'm saying? You understand
just
what I mean?
take what you want. Don't
No, because then they'll really be able to assassinate
The double
me.
think is
Yeah.
serious in this one.
If you actually take what you want, they'll be like, oh, you definitely took the king. I saw it go by in my hand.
Or
so
you take
king.
the assassin.
Well, it already got taken. Or I would be the one killing everybody. Anyway, Citadels definitely can lead to that, and if it happens to you a few times in a row, you eventually continue screaming that name whenever you do podcasts.
My number 7 is a game I really enjoy, but I've seen people get mad in this because of one thing that happens in Dragon's Gold.
Yeah.
Dragon's
For
Gold.
duty again, baby.
That's right. Fiduci's on this list a lot. In Dragon's Gold, you have to make a deal. You get the gold and you split it, and everyone has to agree to the deal. And if it's not all agreed on by everybody, then no one gets anything.
Right.
And you can legitimately go,
Thanks.
for 1 minute. And I've seen it done. I may have done it myself.
You actually wait out the minute? Because that's just obnoxious.
I don't know if I've waited out the minute, but I'm like,
That'd
we
be
might as well set
hilarious.
this
We're
down.
like, all right, well, I guess we're not. It's not a minute. It's not up yet.
I haven't run into that yet, no.
All right, well, you don't want to negotiate, so let's just move on. No.
There was a game
There's
that
another
we
20
just
seconds.
played. I just played with my family, and my daughter and my 2 sons were at each other's throats for this very same thing, and I can't remember the name of the
Papa's
game.
game.
I cannot remember the name. Oh, it was Tomb Trader. Tomb Trader from Level 99 Games. They have a very similar mechanism where they go to, everybody
You have
goes to
to
the same
split
location,
stuff.
you have to split stuff up, and you have to agree on what, and man, at one point my oldest son Michael was just like, nope, I'm not going to allow that. But everybody's getting the same amount. Nope, I want this. But
Yeah, and you can do that too.
But-
Like,
Right. I want this
It's
around.
an even
he
deal.
totally stonewalls the entire game. Oh, that's so frustrating.
It's in Cosmic Encounter. It's in.
Cosmic Encounter's not as pronounced because in Dragon's Gold you do it every time you
Right.
divide up a dragon.
Also in Cosmic Encounter, if you're not making a deal with the other guy, you're both losing. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
usually a really good idea. You only do it once in a while.
Right.
In Dragon's Gold, you could be like, no one's getting anything. There could be like 4 people involved in a deal.
Yeah, you can
Wanna
really
watch
mess
the
people.
world burn?
Yeah, so Dragon's
That's a good
Gold.
one. That's
All
a
right,
good one.
cool. All right, my number 7 is Bang the Dice Game. Now,
Bang
Bang
was
the
on my
Dice
short
game
list.
is one of those games that, first of all,
Shows up on every Healy list.
player elimination. No, it doesn't.
Not every.
Player elimination is one of the main things. I have a teen in my youth group that will actively avoid playing this game because one time, actually it was one day, it happened multiple times in the day, we played because usually what happens, we play a game, we do it over because they go so fast. We play 2-3 times sometimes.
Right.
So the first game, he got eliminated like 2 rounds in. The third game, or the second game, he was one of the first to get let go. It played out pretty normally, but he was one of the first ones to get knocked out. And then the third game, my wife was instrumental in knocking him out of the game before he got his turn.
Before he got one go?
Yes.
Oh, no.
And that was like the straw that broke the camel's back at that point. He was like, that's it, I'm done with this game. I will never play this game again. He was he's a very mild-mannered guy.
Those are the ones to watch out for.
Not right now. His face was flushed.
Oh, no.
And he was was ready to kill somebody, I think.
You read about it in the paper?
I will be reading about it. You just bring some co-ops, man.
But it's just
Some
one of those...
chocolate.
Again, it's one of those games where if a person can get singled out, that part of the game and again, it's not really a flaw of the game per se, it's the people playing the game. You have to really get into your character and make sure that you're not shooting your teammates before you start just willy-nilly. Exactly. So, Bang the Dice game definitely have some of those infuriating moments in it, and definitely for this guy, so I had to be on my list.
Number 6.
My number 6 is a Game of Thrones, the board game. Now, Game of Thrones, if you've ever read the book or watched the series, you'll know that no one likes each other anyway. They're either destroying each other, killing each other, murdering each other, whatever.
Yeah.
Or petting dragons.
Yes. You've never seen it.
I've never seen that. I've never read or seen it.
But the game is very much like that. In fact, before they fixed it with one of the expansions, you literally, with one of the factions, could destroy the other faction like on turn 1.
Good.
Good.
But in this game, you make orders, you make deals with each other, you are constantly working and attacking each other, and it's so mean and so vicious. There's no reason to ever make permanent alliances with anybody. You are fighting from turn 1.
Oof.
The random events might smack you around too while you're at it. It's actually a good game that I will never play again because I can't handle the stress levels from it.
Ooh.
Because when I'm done playing it, I feel like someone beat me up.
It's the same thing with diplomacy. The good thing, though, with Game of Thrones is that it takes like half the time.
Yeah.
Still like 3 hours, though, right?
Yeah.
Yes. The Game of Thrones is my number 6. Your turn.
All right. My number 6. I'll hurry, sir.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You'll see.
Okay. My number 6.
Okay.
Huh?
Go ahead. What's your number 6?
Why do you keep cutting me off, man? My number 6
Go ahead,
is...
Sam. Right.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Top 10 lists that make you angry. All right. My number 6 is Battlestar Galactica. Battlestar Galactica is one of those games where, because it is a social deduction game, you have to lie to people, and just whenever games do that, there's always that ability for the game to really get underneath your skin and for other people's actions in the game to really get underneath your skin. And
you distrust everything.
Yeah, you distrust everybody. And so when you're telling this person the truth and you know for the fact that this is the truth and they don't believe you, you're like, oh! And now you're going to listen to that guy? He's a toaster. He's a Cylon. And, it's just...
never me.
Yeah, it's more often than not. I almost use more often than not. It is you. But Battlestar Galactica definitely is one of those games that you cannot go into the game already, if you need to go have lunch before you play this game so that you're not hangry. You need to make sure
hangry.
The top 10 games that make us hangry. I get it.
The top 5 will be anger-inducing games. The bottom 5 food games.
Have a snack. Something. Just make sure. You got to make sure. I don't know. Take some medication. I don't know. But don't play BSG. in an already mad state because it'll just heighten from there.
You shouldn't actually. If you're mad, you shouldn't play board
Play
games.
board games. Just go deal with that. All right, here we go. My number 6. A lot of the games on my list are games in which you have hidden information that you are not allowed to reveal, or you have to watch something go awry and you cannot speak up about it. It already happened with Deception. This one is Mysterium. That's my number 6. And in Mysterium, you are giving cards. You as I think it's the most frustrating being the ghostly player or whatever. When you give a card or several cards to someone, they look at those cards and they very clearly, I think, look at them and go, oh, it's the cook. That's the one. Or, oh, it's this item here. Because very obviously, the cards I gave you point to that thing. Right? No. They'll pick everything else. And then you have to tell them, you have to give them a couple of cards, and they're like, no, this? Oh, that's not it. And you can't tell them, no, look at the red background. It's the thing. In the red.
But I get mad as a ghost when the guy, I get mad as a player if the ghost is not very smart.
Yeah,
like the thing was this guy. Why would you obviously not pick these 3 cards?
Right? So it's anger inducing the other way, too.
Yeah.
So
coming and going, right?
It's that. Like, I only have a limited amount of cards. And I sometimes give you something that's not good, and at that point it's like, yes, I know. But sometimes I'm like, oh, this card is perfect. Here we go. And they just miss it completely. The thing I'm trying to get them to see, it's just flies under the radar.
I was playing this when it first came out with Marty Cannell and his family. And it was, he kept giving me bad stuff, and it got to the point where...
You punched him.
No, I'm not going to punch him.
That's how every story should end. And then I punched him.
No. Where he would just, hand me the card and go, I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
And it just, because it was just, he could not find a good
it sometimes
representation of that clue. It just happens. And, it got to the point where it was just comical at that point, So, but I definitely understand how frustrating it can be.
So that's my number 6, Mysterium.
Number 5.
All right, my number 5 is a game that we used to play with a group of teenagers in our school. We played it in your room, as a matter of fact. Cheesy walls and all. His walls were painted cheese yellow.
I also put pictures of food all over my walls.
Yeah, he did.
What?
Yes, he did. But anyway, we played this in a group of guys, and which was a great idea. They were all gamers. They loved playing games. Risk Legacy is the game that I'm talking about. And we would have a great time until...
I feel like I never not had a great time.
Were you in this game as well?
I feel like it.
Yeah, he was in all of these games. But he wasn't why. He wasn't why.
The common denominator is
the reason I made my list is because of Vassal.
But one guy would get a call. His mom's coming in to pick him up.
Oh, what is that? That isn't the game's fault.
Wait, what?
Again, it isn't the game's fault. But what he then did was, I gotta leave in 5 minutes, so I'm just gonna go on this breakneck suicide run and just leave myself wide open. Whose turn was it next? This guy. Oh,
it sounds like a happy story.
Gobble, 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 gobble. He goes all the way the whole thing, and look, I just won.
It's a Thanksgiving story.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, because the guy just offered up the game on the platter, and oh my goodness, that's one of the reasons why I still have an unopened copy of Risk Legacy in my house. Because...
You're waiting for that guy.
No.
Beat him to death with it.
Remember this?
No. No.
Gamer
that's
found
not it.
covered
However,
in stickers.
that is a good idea.
In a ditch.
But the idea is, I really enjoy playing the game, but the opportunity of that happening again has really made me gun
You
shy.
really have an unopened copy?
I do.
That sounds like you're just angry at telephone calls, though, not that game.
No, it's not telephone calls. It's,
He's saying that game allows you just to go on rampages like that.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Basically, you can easily king make by just running yourself out.
Got it.
So that's why I have an unopened copy.
And you're
my number
selling
5,
it.
Risk Legacy.
My number 5 is The Resistance. And it's for something that Sam mentioned a while ago when talking about BSG, which is that whole... No, really, I'm the good guy this time. Please believe me. please believe. And no one believes you because you've been the bad guy twice in a row now, and you are done for the evening. Right. You are done.
Yes.
You could be playing Yahtzee and roll the dice openly in front of people, and they're like, that's not a Yahtzee. They're all the same. I don't believe you. But look at them. Please. So that's the thing with the resistance is so hard. And once they pegged you as a traitor, then they'll never put you on the team again. And you're just going, no, I have to vote this down because I know one of them's a traitor. That's you with your traitor trickery. No, no, just believe me, you know. So the resistance leads to a lot of that. What I like about it actually is that it's really condensed frustration. You know, the resistance is such a short game.
Yeah.
That it takes that frustration that could be spread out over a long game and gives it to you in like 20 minutes of just, not angry like I'm really upset at the people, but like frustration that I'm not able to break through and make that connection and be like, it's me. Really, stop believing other people, you know? So I like it a lot. I like that feeling in the game.
And that just makes you look more.
It does, right? When you're that desperate, they're like, you're too desperate. That's my number 5, the resistance.
Sounds like a self-induced problem, but all right. Number 5, I don't believe you what you just said. My number 5, there could have been a lot of games in here. The old game Intrigue, where you just straight up lied to people.
I would have put that on the list, but I hate that game.
Man.
Okay, I like the game, but it's kind of obsolete at this point. But the Intrigue, you say, hey, I'm going to offer your nephew a job. I'm lying. Okay, he's fired. And then there's Mall of Horror and City of Horror, which have the same thing, where you're throwing someone out to the zombies. But the game that does this the best is Lifeboats. All right, Lifeboats, you all just came off a ship and you're in lifeboats. Everyone's in different lifeboats. Then everyone votes which lifeboat gets to go forward.
We're all trying to survive.
Which lifeboat gets a leak in it. And then the people in that lifeboat, when there's a leak, who gets thrown overboard.
Yes.
And I've never seen a game of this end without somebody getting annoyed.
Yeah.
Not like, it doesn't have to get too angry. Again, I think the game is just short enough where I would be like, hey, guys, it's only going to be 45 minutes here. You can make it through this, but still, it's kind of annoying when you're like, I am losing the game. I cannot mathematically win. And you're still voting to throw me over? When Mr. Garcia here is winning? Is there something? What? Stop listening to his lies.
And in that game, you can see who's winning. That's the thing. You can look at the islands and be like, yeah, they're winning. You're out.
Yeah, but
jump out this boat.
Anyway, it's an interesting game. I don't recommend it for most people, honestly.
Yeah,
it's like the exact total opposite of a cooperative game.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
but I mean, that's one of the few games of that sort that I'll play.
I like it, but I'm telling you,
it's frustrating.
But that's because you got to go into it knowing what it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Number 4.
All right, my number 4 is a game where I actually lost my cool.
You lost. Ooh.
I didn't actually punch anybody. I don't punch people.
I suppose I was there again?
No, you weren't. Not this time.
Yeah!
So that common factor is done away with. But I don't normally punch. I don't think I've punched anybody in quite a few decades, actually. Just putting that out there. No, this one is where I actually took my hand of cards. I had a lot of them because I had been planning to use them all until my wife and my son decided to block off basically 2/3 of the map by 2 what they will say is strategic plays.
I think you told this story the last
yes,
time, 4 years
I
ago.
have. Yes. But Ticket to Ride Nordic Countries is a very tight Ticket to Ride map. And I had my entire plan done, set. I was about to start playing them. And yeah, my wife played one. I was like, oh, crud. Okay, I can still do this. And then my son, yeah!
You're supposed to throw the popcorn too. You forgot.
And I mean, I took my cards.
You threw your cards.
And I threw my cards so that it wiped the board. So we could not start over. We were done with that game.
Forever.
It is one of the only times I have done this. And meant it.
It was last week.
No, it wasn't.
Did you feel
last
bad
week.
about it?
This was almost a decade ago as well.
Did you feel bad about it?
Well, yeah, of course.
Did you apologize?
Almost immediately. Yes, I apologized.
Would you do it again?
Would you like to hit him now? You don't have to apologize.
Do it now. But no, it's just one of those games where it's so easy. And my boys, when they were learning how to play, would just like da, 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 and they would
Like
just
children.
yes, exactly. But
And then you taught them the dark side of gaming.
but anyway, that's my number 4.
Oh, man.
Ticket to Ride Nordic
man.
countries, just very mildly frustrating.
We almost have a crossover
Mildly
here.
frustrating.
We almost have a crossover with me and Sam. Not quite though. Risk, but 2210.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, we've
Where's the
heard
legacy?
this story too.
I-
Yeah.
It's not so much any particular story. I was just talking to Joe the other day on the phone, and I was like, "Hey, remember that one time we played Risk and I beat you in turn 1?" I was teaching him the game too. I was like,
you wiped him out?
I go first. I wiped him out. He didn't even get a turn.
That's not right.
It really isn't right. And yet, for some reason,
He loves
15
it.
years later, I still am not sorry.
That's Joe.
That must be what it is. I don't know. I look back, I have many regrets. Not one of them.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, but I have literally never played a game of this where someone didn't get mad.
Somebody did
Like,
not get mad. Angry.
Mad.
Angry.
Yes.
Angry.
I gotta get this.
No, I haven't played it for over a decade.
I have not
for
played
that
it.
reason.
Yep.
Play with Sam and his family. See if he'll wipe out the board.
Risk 2210.
All right, my number 4 is one you briefly mentioned when you were talking about lifeboats in that City of Horror.
For the same reason.
Yeah, for the same reason, right. You can just sort of like get thrown to the, well, I was gonna say the wolves, but get thrown to the zombies.
Ooh. I play a game called City of Wolves.
City of Wolves.
And you gotta throw people out to the wolves.
Mall of Wolves.
That's
And
it's not bad either.
in it, you are attempting to survive and, shore up the zombies coming in and all of that. But that part's the easy part, is the negotiating with other people and them throwing you out so the zombies get you. And you don't really have a lot to offer in the game, so it's just sort of like, you'll look at a room and you sashay up to this person. You're like, hey, how about we work with, and then you look at them and you go, oh, y'all already talked, huh? All right, I'll walk out there.
And the problem with this game that maybe makes it worse than Lifeboats is in Lifeboats I think you have like 6 sailors, and in Mall of Horror you have 3 people.
3 survivors. Yeah, that's it. So
Except one has a gun for some
it's
reason.
brutal. It's brutal. Well, in Mall of Horror, that's the way it is. In City of Horror, they're slightly different. The people are a little more different,
Right.
which I like better. But it's still very few survivors. So losing one's a big deal. I like the game, but it can definitely be the kind of game that if things aren't going your way, you'll be frustrated, and it's not going someone's way, So there's always someone frustrated in the game, or it's getting to them. So that's my number 4, City of Horror.
Number 3.
My number 3 is Time's Up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
as fun as it is, and this will never stop me from playing it, I have seen so many people get angry at someone else. Now, I've seen it happen more in the people one because it's harder to do some of the people.
Yeah.
Right? If I get, Jacques Cousteau and you don't know who that is,
Right.
that's really hard to even get someone to guess it
Right.
out
Well,
of
it's
that.
the Pictionary effect, where someone's doing something, you're like, it's a goat, it's a donkey, it's a car, it's like that anger, where you just can't help
Right,
it.
well, there's 2 kinds of anger. There's the anger from the person giving the clue because it's very
right.
obvious, and then there's the anger from the other person who goes, "You're a moron."
You're not giving me good clues, right?
So, yeah, this game. I haven't played with my wife for this game a long, long
Good
time.
man,
but
good smart man.
we used
it
to
almost
yell at
ended
each
your
other.
marriage, didn't it?
I almost ended our
Oh
marriage.
my goodness!
No, but the pastor.
The pastor did ask him if he
Oh, I
wanted.
remember that. Yeah. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Like, no, we just get very enthusiastic when playing Time's Up.
Oh my goodness!
But really, you get yell at people, and even like when our live plays, and it's mostly fun there, right?
Yeah.
But there's still times where you're just like, I'm gonna bash you. How could you not know who that person is?
Exactly.
There's something like that. Time's Up. My number 3.
All right, my number 3 is Fuse, and this is my real-time game entry. I don't like real-time games for the most part. Fuse is one of the few I enjoy, but pretty much every real-time game can be frustrating. Or like speed grabby kind of games. Fuse is not a grabby game. Well, it's a little bit, but it's that whole you roll, there's a perfect pool of dice out there, you take exactly what you need, you put it on the dice you've got, and then you immediately lose it again at the end of that round. It's like, okay, no progress there. And then you roll another pool of dice, yes, all right, this one can go on this card, and you lose it again immediately. And that is frustrating. That's really frustrating, especially when you feel like the time keeps going and you're not making any progress. And it's a good type of frustrating. It's, again, like 10 minutes of frustration as opposed to an hour of frustration. But, man, it's ratcheted up to such an intense level that after playing that game, I need a break. You know, I need a moment to be like, just a game. It's cool, you know? But,
Yeah, but who are you getting mad at? The game, though? You're not
well,
getting
I'm
mad
getting
at the
frustrated. No, it induces rage in me from the game's system going, here you go, buddy. Ah, don't take that. You know? It's that. It's like it keeds doing that to you. It's like, oh, come on. So, Fuse is my number 3.
My number 3 has been mentioned by Mr. Vazel.
Is it Risk 2210?
It is Time's Up.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
I'm the same number. Yeah, I've
Oh,
been out.
man. It might be my
Time's
number
up.
1 and you don't know.
And it is best basically for the exact same reasons, the exact same stories that he shared. I mean, you're trying so hard to be so clear on your time. And then when the other person is like doing the same thing, but they're doing it quietly. So they're like, and you're going, say something!
Yeah, when you're with the person, they're like,
Exactly.
You're like, the time is running!
So it's just, man, it's all in good fun, yeah, but still, anger, very prevalent in Time's Up for the exact same reasons. It's just so easy to get so frustrated.
And yet, I highly recommend
Yes, it's
it.
a very fun game. You should definitely play it. Just don't play angry.
Don't play with people you like.
Yes.
Number 2.
My number 2 is my programming game, and this is Mechs vs. Minions.
What?
Mechs vs. Minions.
It's cooperative programming.
Yeah, it is. And again, I don't get upset at other people. I just get upset at my stupid robot.
His list is actually pretty nice because he's always like, I don't get upset with other people.
Yeah.
No, I don't normally get upset
Just
with that.
the
There's a few
game.
games where I'll get upset with what other people are doing. If it's to take that game, that kind of thing. But in Mechs vs. Minions, you've done your program and you think you've got it all figured out. And then 3 turns later, it's like if you could just flash forward 3 turns later, I'm sitting there going, you stupid machine! Stop going around in circles! Go that way, you know, and you're trying to program
To
things.
which the robot says, "You programmed me."
That's right. So you keep hitting a wall or doing, and that game is, it's a die roll for me. I could have an amazing session where I have a blast playing, or I could have a session where halfway through I'm really frustrated. Like, let's finish, you know, kind of frustrated. Because it's really hard to watch something you've done that you have a hard time taking back just completely fall apart slowly and not make any progress over and over and over. And the little dudes keep showing up. And you're not helping the team, which is also frustrating because everybody else is like, da-da-da-da, smack this guy, burn these people.
We're
And
also
you're over here going,
By Z's bad
you know?
playing.
Yeah, it is. So that's my number 2, Mechs vs. Minions. Just make sure you like things going wrong when you play.
All right, what do you got? Number 2.
All right, my number 2. Now, my number 2 and my number 1, most of my list have been games that I actually enjoy playing. My number 2 and my number 1,
Ooh, they're the top 2, huh?
no, yeah, my
Crazy.
top two. Now, the first one is very much like Battlestar Galactica, one of my favorite games.
Oh, I know what it is because you asked the name of the game earlier.
I did.
I was wondering why you were thinking
both
about that
know.
game.
I did.
Tom was there, I bet.
See, this game is almost just like Battlestar Galactica, except for instead of having a hand of cards that you can choose from to offer, you basically have to roll a set of dice behind your shield. And you must give, it's called Dark Moon by Stronghold Games. I have to make sure that I point that out.
That's right, he wants his advertisement.
You have to roll your dice behind, and from that roll, you have to give your offering. it could be you have no choice whatsoever.
Sure you don't.
Exactly. See? Yeah. So I could have no choice whatsoever. I have to put a bad die out there. Nothing I can do about it. I did nothing wrong. And yet he thinks I'm the bad guy.
That's right.
Because I had no choice. I hate that forced part of the game where it's...
you gotta be bad.
I gotta stop, Goose Rubba. Because just thinking about this is making me angry. Because I hate it when games force something on me that I had no control over whatsoever. I don't like it at all. So that's my number 2, Dark Moon. I'm all better now.
He seems okay.
My number 2 is actually crossover with the Z and was played very close to when we played Dark Moon one time. And that is the Resistance.
Good.
Now, there are various reasons why the Resistance can make people mad.
I know what you're talking about. I had a great time.
But part of it is what you're saying. I mean, I just put the Resistance on here because I see people get mad at it for various reasons. Sure. They get mad at the other person because the other person doesn't play correctly. Mm-hmm. But mostly the anger is, you are lying to me. I mean, I'm telling you the truth, but you don't believe me, except I really am lying. But you should still believe me because I normally tell the truth, and I feel like I'm telling the lie in a very, very, very honest way. So why are you still angry at me?
Sounds like a real specific example. This is like, I mean, this is a targeted tale.
Exactly.
No, actually,
he's telling here.
It's not targeted tale. I mean, yes, there was that moment, but I've seen people get mad in it all the time.
Oh, I've felt people get mad in it.
Especially when people say, I've seen people go, okay, this, and this, because you can work things out logically in Resistance, and they'll point it all out, and people won't believe them, and then they just go bananas. They're like, I am showing you exactly how this works, and I may have done that before. Like, this is exactly right. There's no way. Logically, Z is guilty, and they're like, no, maybe not. And you're like, you're a moron. Why were you even invited into this game?
Oh my goodness. Oh, this is escalated quick. Oh.
No, it's over when the game's over.
I hope so.
And I love Resistance. Some people should not play it, really. The Resistance, my number 2.
And finally, number 1.
All right, die roll. I'm feeling it. 18, baby.
Ooh, 18 is good, but it's as good as an 18.
What? Oh, that was almost an 18 to 16. All right, roll
Here
off.
we go. Oh,
yeah,
no.
17 knocks it.
Mine was going to be a 22, and you knocked it over.
All right.
Quiet you with your logic.
Okay.
I'm going to go first because I think mine's more obvious than your 2. And then Sam will have you go last because I have no idea what yours is.
Okay.
Do you know what mine is?
Nope.
It's the one game that I hate and I'll never play again.
Diplomacy.
Yes.
Oh.
And this is for the reason, the worst, I think this brings up the rage in people because of what he said earlier. Like, oh, this is only 10 minutes. This is only 20 minutes. Diplomacy is 7 hours. And the more time you're invested in the game, the angrier you get. And then that person who betrayed you is still playing the same game. They might even betray you again 3 hours later.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I've seen someone cry after playing Diplomacy or in the middle of a game of Diplomacy.
I mean, it was like a grown man crying.
It was a grown man
Yes.
crying. I've seen people yelling at others. I've heard at least 5 or 6 people after they play Diplomacy come to me and say, I will never do that again. And I understand that they will never do that again.
Oh. This is one I'm never playing. I've never played.
There's so many reasons for you, but number 1 is at 7.
Once, and that was enough.
Why did I play so many times?
I have no idea. Maybe
You're a masochist.
you don't like other people.
I mean, because I was mad. I was angry in my very first game of Diplomacy, like 5 minutes in. Bob stabs me for no reason. I'm still mad about that. Bob.
Okay. All right.
All right, what do you got, Sam? Is yours risk 2210?
No. It was mentioned on your
Is
list.
it a game? Oh. Look at your list, man. What is it?
Oh, Robo Rally.
Yeah, of course. He hates it.
I put so much work. and making sure my robot goes exactly where it needs to go. And then, you put it so succinctly earlier, some Yahoo simply says, oh.
Here comes the voice.
I meant to play this card.
That's a different voice. Equally
Oh
demeaning.
my goodness. Then why didn't you play that card? If you meant to play it, why didn't you play it? Because now, not only are you messed up, you're messing me up. I mean,
And then you take all your stuff and throw it across the board.
I will never play this game again. I will never play this game again. Even if they can't fix it. That's the problem. This is a game where just other people messing up, mess you up too. Not fair. Not cool. I will not play this game ever again.
You have nothing to top us with now.
No,
You got to get really angry with yours. Give us a clue. What is it?
No, I'm not going to be angry. This one's one where it's a two-player only game. It's an oldie but a goodie, and in it you are going to be mean to each other.
Chess?
A lot. No. It's Babel.
Oh. I've gotten
yes.
mad playing Babel.
Yeah,
Yes.
Babel is Babel is a game.
I watched you get mad at playing Babel.
This is no joke how mean this game is. This is an Uwe Rosenberg game, people, okay? Like Mr., build up your crops and feed your family. Nice guy. Not back in the day, he wasn't. Back in the day, he was having you build up your towers and then getting them swept out from under you and destroyed and stolen. And, in this game, you are going to spend, on average, 3 turns building up something and half a turn having it taken away. It's a game built on not you building things up, but taking them from the other person's hard work. That's how it's designed to work. And it's a great test. It's always the one I suggest to people when they have a significant other that is perhaps not sure if they like angry games. And I'm like,
Why would you encourage a new couple to play that game? Are you trying to squash their future dreams?
Are you getting along with Sally? You guys should play Babel.
No, if they want to know, if they're like, he or she likes, mean games. I'm like, all right, try Babel. Then talk to me. If that's still like they like that, then yes, they really like mean games.
No, you don't want that guy to come back and talk to you because he'd be like, I did what you said. I'm gonna. She left me the day after.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, Babel is a particularly rage-inducing game.
And it never lets up.
It never lets up. And you're gonna be smacked around from turn 1 until the game is over. It is a game
This does not sound like
designed.
fun to me.
You've never played?
No.
It's a great game.
I watched him and Joe play it. And they got so angry at each other.
No, he wasn't angry because I was like...
Oh, he was having a great time, but you were...
Because he would sit there and he's like blowing up my pyramids and doing this. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm just going to build up the hand of cards and come back. And he's
blow
like...
up half your hand.
Half your hand's gone. I was like, I'll cut you right now.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Everything is up for grabs. So anyway, Babel, definitely try it with your new love.
Tell us in the comments what games inspire rage. What games make people mad? What games did we miss? There's probably games that there's a lot of games out there. Right?
There's a lot.
Really,
For different reasons.
really,
too.
for the most part, all jokes aside, in our group, very rarely does rage come out.
Yeah,
No.
very rarely.
And you really shouldn't. It's just a game.
We're talking game rage for the most part.
But I mean, if you do get angry easily, then perhaps these are games you should skip. We're doing the world a favor. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thank you, everybody.
Sam Healy. See you guys on the flip side.
On the happy flip side.